Hey everyone, I've been trying to learn how to use my new Etherwave Standard. It does not have any modules installed. It does not have any modifications or anything at all. It's just a standard Etherwave Theremin from Moog, and it's brand new. And I've been learning how to use it by watching a lot of tutorial videos and all the professionals who make it look very easy to do the hand positions and the notes, and I'm finding it quite difficult. And this is coming from a musician. I'm a violinist, classically trained. I can play the piano, and I thought it would be pretty seamless for me to learn how to use this instrument. And what drew me to it is the fact that you don't touch anything, right? It's a volume loop here and pitch on the right. And yes, you can try to find notes with hand positions. So I watched all the videos of the greats, Carolina and Lydia and Peter Pringle and Caroline Scruggs and all these different people. And I'm sure you've seen all these videos too because they're all over the internet.
Hi, I'm Carolina Eyck. I play the theremin. And once I have tuned my theremin like that.
My name is Lydia Kavina, and I teach to play the theremin by moving the arm towards the vertical antenna and back to your shoulder.
Hey, 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 who wants to learn how to tune their theremin today? So the second step, once you have your range set from your fingertips to your collarbone, then you would use hand position 1 and then hand position 8 to try to play an octave on the scale. So you would go C to C.
But I wanted to really show you guys what it's like to own one of these things. And one of the things that drove me nuts about watching these videos is you don't really know where to stand. Everybody seems to be standing like right around here on a theremin, but I'm tall. As you can see, I'm almost out of frame in this video because my camera is all the way back. I can barely get in the frame. And my head is almost touching this part of the ceiling here. So I'm 6'2". I have really long arms. I have really big hands. Everyone who seems to be playing the theremin online is petite. Petite women who have very small hands and very short arms. And they're also very short. So the theremin, first of all, I notice a lot of people have it right around, usually their belly button to their chest, whereas I have it down by my belt line. I also noticed as a tall person, and I'm recording this from 2 angles so that you can see, because this is one thing that drives me nuts about these videos is they don't really show you, and I'm going to turn off the instrument for a minute so we can move around a little bit. One of the things that drives me nuts is they don't really show you how they're standing. You just see this front angle, but you don't see how they're here on the side, right? You don't see how they're standing. So what I want to show you is both angles. The first thing I noticed is they make sure that their right hand, either, everyone's different. Some say go to your wrist, some say go to your knuckles, some say go to your fingertips, some say to your actual fingertips. As a tall person, my hand, if I go to the wrist, okay, and the volume is here, as you can see, my arm is fully extended. If I move back to my fingertips, my hand is barely touching the volume loop at this point. So it's going to be, so when I started learning how to play, I was actually doing this thing where I was kind of going like this and flailing my arms around, and my arms got really tired really fast. It didn't make sense for me. So after watching tons of videos and going on thereminworld.com and reading through literally hundreds of posts and asking tons of questions, I finally started to discover, if you look at 20 years worth of posts, there's literally 20 years worth of posts on there, you'll find that there's different ways to stand and or sit on a stool. What I found works for me so far, and we'll hear it in a minute, it's probably not going to sound great because I'm still not good, and that's the point of this video, is to show you the truth behind the Etherwave Standard theremin and other theremins out there and how they're not very easy to use, okay? As I stand closer, what I noticed is, let me see how I can get comfortable, okay? And I want to move this camera here to a different angle over here. See if this works, okay? And now I want you to see, I'm turning my body to the left so that I'm diagonal with the pitch antenna. I'm not standing straight. This is straight. I'm turning this way so that my volume hand is right here. As you can see, it has a nice bend in it, so I can easily just go like this up and down, okay? If I extend my right arm, my knuckles will touch the antenna with a little bend in my arm. And as Carolina Eyck likes to do, she likes to do the hand position down. First position like this, with your kind of like a fist almost, with your fingers in an OK symbol facing your shoulder. And then moving your arm onto the what they call an invisible string, as if there's a string going from the pitch antenna to your shoulder. Okay, so I've tried all that. I've tried it a million times. It doesn't quite seem to work for me as a tall person. So I've been trying to figure this out, and that's why I wanted to make this video, in case there's other people out there who are struggling to figure out how to even stand, because they don't explain it. They just say, be to the left towards the kind of the center of the instrument, have your volume hand out and your pitch hand out, and then do the zero beat, which is going like this. The zero beat stops around here. Zero beat means there's no more sound. So I got to move the pitch volume until I hear no sound or a very low rumble. Right, and I'm leaning back a little bit, if you can see. Let me move this camera here for you. Okay, so zero beat. Lean back a little bit. Okay, so you can see that now on this camera. Now, they say to find a note. And then they say if you move into first position with that same finger position back to first, being this, it should be an octave. For some reason, with my big hands, I can never seem to get that octave to work perfectly. So they say in that case, you have to use the pitch. So it's going to get a little loud for a second. Let's try it. I'm moving my hand way too much from that 8 to first position. Maybe I'm doing it right. I'm not sure. Let's try it again. So if I try to do a scale, even that, my fingers are not fully extended. You can see this hand here, my hands are not fully extended. This is fully extended. So if I go backwards on a scale, so, you know, as you can hear, the notes are not perfect, even though I'm supposedly doing the hand positions that everybody says you should be doing. Now, I notice some people don't do hand positions. They do more like this. That's supposed to be somewhere over the rainbow. But as you can see, I was moving my hand back a bit and moving my fingers back a bit, not really doing all those hand positions. I noticed that my wrist, as a tall person with a long arm, I start to get really cramped up if I have to do these hand positions back and forth. It's just too much for my big hands. So as I move closer to the instrument, I'm going to move the camera again. So now I'm going to be tilted a bit. Let's try to do the pitch this way. It's pretty close. I also discovered managing the volume at the same time as the pitch. It's not very easy to do. They make it look really easy with the staccato notes as well. Landing those notes without the sound is very difficult to do. So it's not as easy as they make it look. They've been doing this for 20 years. Their muscle memory must be so ingrained in their hand that they know exactly where those notes are. Unlike a piano or a violin where you have finger positions. You know exactly where to put your fingers on the violin strings or the piano keys, and you can't really go out of tune unless you hit the wrong note or you put your finger in the wrong place. Just for the sake of musicality, I wanted to, play a little violin so that you can see that I do have musical intonation, so I understand how music works. A little rusty, but that's what my violin sounds like. So I'm able to play notes here if they're in tune. I was obviously a little out of tune, but I can also play a little bit of the piano. So I'm going to move over here. So as you can see, I can also play a song on the piano, and I can hear when a note is in tune. So that just shows you the level of difficulty you have with the Etherwave. Here, you're just playing with the air. There's nowhere to put your fingers. So you have to just hear it. So let's try again from this angle, and you'll see how my body is I feel already a lot looser. My left volume hand is a lot easier to just kind of go like this. All right. So I feel better playing like this at an angle, as you can see my body. So it's hard to really show from this angle, but from here you should be able to see how my body is turned and how my hand is right above the volume here and how I'm perpendicular. And if you want to shoot from behind or maybe even from the front, let's go over here. So now you can see my body where it's placed from this angle. My hand is straight ahead on an angle. It's almost perpendicular with the corner of the Etherwave, right? So you can see I'm kind of right there, straight ahead. For some reason, this angle works better. definitely more relaxed. But the reason I wanted to make this video was for you to see these angles, see how actually difficult it is to play one of these things. Holding those notes, man, it is not easy to hold those notes. So when you're watching all these videos online, don't feel like, oh, I can just buy one of these things and start playing those notes. It's not that easy, guys. I've been playing this for at least a week now, practicing these hand positions, practicing scales. You know, like, I'm going to do another one for you guys. So just the basic scale, right? And I'm going to stand the way everybody else stands, straight ahead. Make sure 0 beat. Got to move it back a little bit. That's good. Didn't work out, did it? Another thing I noticed is if I'm trying to force an octave into my hand position, you see how I have to move it to get to a certain point? I don't even know if this hand position is right. They say it should be almost a closed fist with an OK symbol, right, like this, facing your shoulder, right? So if I'm facing my shoulder, and I'm already feeling some stress on my left arm on the volume because I'm not standing like this, this gives me stress. It just, I feel the stress in my elbow, I feel the stress in my upper arm and my shoulders. This I feel a lot more comfortable because I can put my left elbow to my side and I can just tap the volume like this. All the stress just went away, right? But I'm doing it like this because you may be a shorter person with smaller arms and smaller hands, which is what it seems like everybody is, except for me. So again, I'm going to try to do a scale. Now see, this hand position for me, I want to get close here. That is not comfortable for me. It is putting strain on my hand big time. This feels a little bit more comfortable, but if I do that, doesn't work out for me, does it? The notes aren't there. But first position, and that's about the closest I've been able to get to a scale, is what I just did right there. Close enough in tune, right? And as you can see, I'm struggling with the hand position. So I myself have to figure out the best way for me to do this. So far, this isn't really the right way as far as I can tell. And I just wanted you to see the struggles I'm having so that you can understand the truth behind these instruments and how difficult they are. Because not only is getting the scale right, but trying to do the scale with staccato. Look at where my hand is. It's like all the way back here now. So this didn't work. This position didn't work out so well. Second position over here is supposed to give me a different note, but it doesn't. Let's try it again. Now, if I go like this, according to Carolina Eyck, her hand position 2, it's just the wrong note for me. See, it's my hand with those, and supposedly you're supposed to match the pitch to your hand. So if I go like this, that's out of tune, right? So here's where the trick to me is, this is where it gets tricky. Am I supposed to match the note to the hand position or the pitch to the hand position? It's very confusing, and no one has explained this fully online. I can't see any explanations that really tell me. First of all, are my hand positions correct? This is fully extended supposedly. This is 8 with the OK symbol facing upward. And then first position would be same finger, the O facing my shoulder with my hands like this, and the rotation of my wrist going upward. It's not right. It's very difficult to do, and I'm not getting it right, obviously. So this is where I'm at right now in my journey. I'm hoping to potentially get a little better at this thing. I do love the theremin because it is so cool. I mean, you're not touching anything. It's all in the air. As you guys know, I love technology. I have tons of gadgets. I'm a musician. But this has been the most challenging thing for me to do, is learn how to play the theremin. And just like you, I was completely blown away by the videos online, and I saw how beautiful and magical it looks, and you know, the volume and the pitch and the sounds, and it sounds like a singer or a violin, and I'm like, oh, I would really love to learn how to play this thing so I can incorporate it in my music and my music studio. But I am struggling, guys, and maybe you have some tips as to how I can stand better, how I can do better hand positions for someone who's tall with long arms and big hands. I have been trying to find the answer, and it's just not coming to me. And if I hear one more time, just practice more, I'm going to probably, you know what, because practicing the wrong moves isn't the right answer. If I'm practicing the wrong moves, I'd like to know what the right ones are, the right stance, the right placement, the right pitching. I can't seem to find the right answers. And so that's why I wanted to make this video for you guys, to hopefully help you understand how this thing really works. I'm not saying don't buy a theremin. I think they're really cool if you're interested to learn how to play it and if you're patient. But also, you might not want to buy one of these because these are very expensive. You might want to get a cheaper one. If you'll look at my other video for the Lost Volts LV4, although it was more difficult to play than this one's actually a lot easier to play. You may be able to at least learn if A, do you like it? And B, are you able to play it at all? And then maybe move up to a more advanced professional theremin like the Moog. And there's a lot of different Moogs out there. There's Clarivox, there's Etherwave Pro, there's Etherwave Plus. This is an Etherwave Standard. So I'll show you really quick what it looks like in the front here. It just has 4 knobs, 1 output, not much else. The other ones have a lot more outputs and knobs here, and outputs on the bottom of the box. This doesn't have anything. It's just a basic, one of the first ones ever built. And that's about it, guys. I hope that you learned something, you know, from this video that helps you understand how the theremin works. And if you decide to get one, I would love to hear how you are progressing in your journey. Thanks for watching.